Hello my dear children, welcome to your history class. Children, in the previous class I told you that we will be starting with the French Revolution chapter, and in the previous class I gave you a small introduction of what exactly is French Revolution, why it is so important in history. Children, we all know that France was the first European country which got the status of nation state. It was all because of the efforts of the people. And children, French Revolution is known for the ideals of liberty, fraternity and freedom. Children, as you can see here, I have made a flow chart which is a comprehensive study of the chapter. See, this flow chart tells you about the French Revolution during the 18th century, that the society was part of feudal system where bounded labours were there. It was divided into three estates: first estate, second estate, third estate. But before we proceed on with the estate part, let me tell you that during the 18th century the struggle was for survival and the middle class emergence. Now during the 18th century, middle classes, they emerged, and the emergence of the social group were the middle class. Now these middle class people, they were the professionals like lawyers, administrative officials. Now these lawyers and administrative officials, those who were there, they believed in the idea of privileges on merit, not birth. Because in the European society, children, the aristocracy, people were given privileges. All those people who belonged to the aristocracy or the nobility, they were given all kind of privileges. But children, the middle class, they always believed in the privileges on merit, not by birth. Like I told you that the aristocracy which was there in France, they all had every kind of privilege. Now these people, they got ideas which were taken from the philosophers. Now at the time of the French Revolution, there were many philosophers who came into being. They were from the middle classes, and some of them were from the privileged classes also. John Locke, Jean Rousseau and Montesquieu. These were the people who were behind the ideas, who actually instigated people to fight for their rights. Now John Locke, he wrote books which were named as Two Treatises of Government. Rousseau, he wrote about the social contract, and Montesquieu wrote about the spirit of laws. Now coming to the struggle to survive. Now the struggle to survive was actually the subsistence crisis which shook the France because of the population increase. Now when the population increased, the demand for the food grains also increased. Children, we all know when the population increases, the demand for the food ultimately grows. Now, but because there was a huge increase in the demand of the food grains because of the growing population, but the people, the farmers could not produce the amount of food that was required, that was demanded. So it ultimately led to the subsistence crisis. Now because of this subsistence crisis, people, they started starving, and the women, they could not see their children crying, dying of hunger. So they thought that because the French treasury was already vacant, but still the women, they thought that maybe the queen would be having some kindness with her. So they went to her, and these women, when they went to her, she was so careless about the people of France that when they complained that, Queen, we all are dying of hunger, our children don't have bread to eat, she very casually told them, if they don't have bread, give them cakes. Now this was something which made these women annoyed, and they could not believe that it is a woman who is saying this. Now ultimately these people, they joined in the French Revolution. Now coming to the society. Children, as you all can see over here, society was part of the feudal system. Now in this feudal system, this system was about the bonded farmers or the laborers. Now these bonded laborers were the people who could not arrange for the revenues to the king, and ultimately they had to surrender their lands. And because of this surrendering of the land, many of the people who could not repay the loan that they had taken, they had to work as bonded laborers. Now coming to the society division, the first estate, like I told you that the French society was divided into three parts. That was the first estate, the second estate and the third estate. Now the first estate comprised of the clergy. These clergy were the people who worked in the churches. They used to perform the daily functions of the church. Now these clergymen or the clergies, those who were there, they enjoyed the privileges by birth because they were part of the church, and church also came in the part of the privileges that were given to the aristocracy after the king. Now coming to the second estate, the second estate comprised of the nobility. Again this nobility, they enjoyed the privileges by birth. Now these nobility were the people who were the landowners, those who had lands with them. Now both these clergy and the nobility, after the king, they had the privileges by birth, and they both, the clergy and the nobility, were exempted from paying taxes. Now the clergy and the nobility comprised the 90% of the population. Now the remaining, coming to the third estate. Third estate comprised of the big businessmen, the merchants, the lawyers. The third estate was further divided into three subparts. The second subpart comprised of the peasants and the artisans. And the third subpart was the small peasants, the landless laborers and the servants. Now the peasants and the artisans and the small peasants and the landless laborers and servants, those who were there, they were the people who were the service providers, or they were considered to provide services to the lords they had. Now for them, these lords were the clergies and the nobility. Now these people, they were eligible, or you can say that these were the people who had to pay taxes. Church had imposed taxes on them, which was called as the tithes, and they had to pay indirect tax, which was tally, which was collected by the state government. Now these two types of taxes which were there, they were only to be given by the third estate and the second and the third subpart of the third estate. Now this was something which people resisted. They did not like this idea because they knew that the ones who were rich, those who were wealthy, they were completely exempted from the paying of the taxes. Now peasants, they formed the 90% of the population, and 60% of the land that was there was owned by the nobles and the church. Now the 60% of the land that was owned by the nobles in the church, they were given as gift, they were gifted by the king to these people. Now the members of the first two estates, the clergy and the nobility, they enjoyed several privileges, as I told you earlier, and the burden of the taxes was completely on the third estate, and to be precise, in the third estate was completely to be given by the people who formed the second and the third subgroup of the third estate. France, as you know children, was a strong and a powerful state in the 18th century. It had a despotic rule. As I told you earlier, the constitution of the French society was such that the nobles and the clergy had special privileges, whereas the common masses led a miserable life. The War of American Independence was being fought. A revolution in France was also brewing. It was because of the arbitrary and the autocratic government, the extravagant rulers, privileged nobles and clergy, landless peasants, jobless workers, unequal taxation, and many other similar situations and hardships of the common people whose tolerance had already been stretched too far. All these things I have explained you in this flowchart as well. The American Revolution showed them the path of liberty and inspired the French people to revolt. The French Revolution, which broke out in 1789, put an end to the arbitrary rule and established a democratic government. The French Revolution is regarded as a great landmark in human history. It is because of its far-reaching consequences. It had put an end to all the old traditions and the institution and gave birth to the new political ideas of liberty, equality and fraternity. It created a stir in the whole of Europe and had its impact on many countries of the world. The seeds of the French Revolution, children, were sown in the ancient regime. Here the ancient regime actually means the society setup that was there in the country, which I had explained you earlier. There was an absolute monarchy in France. The king regarded himself as the representative of God on earth. Absolute monarchy reached its zenith during the rule of Louis XVI, who had become despotic and headstrong. There was a parliament which catered to estates general, but the king had stopped consulting it since the last 100 years or so. Louis XVI taxed the people very heavily and was least bothered about their problems, an attitude mirrored by the reported words and attitude of his wife, Marie Antoinette. I told you, when the women, they saw their children dying of hunger, they went to her, and when they saw that the queen had no mercy for their children, they were highly disappointed. She was a conceited, unwise, haughty and extravagant woman. The French administration was incompetent, disorganized, corrupt and expensive. Corruption and disorder were rampant in every organ of administration. The society consisted of mainly three classes: the clergy, the first estate that I already told you, the nobles, the second estate, and merchants, professionals and peasants who comprised the third estate. All rights and privileges were enjoyed by the first two classes, who were also exempted from taxation. The middle class and the peasants had to carry all the burden of taxation, but enjoyed little or no privileges. Therefore, the French society was sitting on a mound of explosives, and only a spark was needed for it to explode in a huge conflagration. Children, I hope till here this comprehensive study of the lesson. Through this, I have been able to explain you that was what exactly France was going through. Children, coming to the French society during the late 18th century. As I told you earlier that in 1774, Louis XVI, a 20-year young from Bourbon dynasty, ascended the throne of France. He was welcomed by empty treasure. Now, why he was welcomed by empty treasure? It was because of the reason that the continuous wars which were fought for almost 7 years, it made the whole of the treasury empty because of the army expenses which were to be borne by the ruler, by the previous king of the France. The France was reeling under tremendous debt which had mounted up to 2 billion livres. Now here livre stood or stands for the French currency, which was later on abolished. For meeting these expenses, increase in the tax was inevitable. Like to keep the expenses, going, there was increase in the tax required by the country. Now, the French society was divided into 3 estates. First two enjoyed all privileges, as I told you earlier. The first estate, clergy. Second estate, nobility. Third estate, the big businessmen, merchants, court officials, peasants, artisans, landless laborers, servants, etc. This I have already told you in the previous flowchart that I showed you. Now some within the third estate were rich and some were poor. The burden of financing activities of the state through taxes was borne by the third estate alone. All these points I have already covered with you in the flowchart that I showed you in the beginning of the class. The struggle for survival. Population of France grew and so did the demand for grain. The gap between the rich and poor widened. This led to subsistence crisis. Children, now why this subsistence crisis was there? It was because the population of France rose from about 23 million in 1715 to almost 28 million in 1789, which led to a rapid increase in the demand for the food grains. The production of grains could not keep pace with the demand, so the price of bread, which was the staple diet of the majority, rose rapidly. Most workers were employed as laborers in workshops whose owner fixed their wages, but wages did not keep pace with the rise in prices, so the gap between the poor and the rich widened. Things became worse whenever drought or hail reduced the harvest. This ultimately led to a subsistence crisis, something that occurred frequently in France during the Old Regime. In other words, you can say subsistence crisis is an extreme situation where the basic means of livelihood are endangered. Now coming to the growing middle class. The 18th century witnessed the emergence of middle class which was educated and believed that no group in society should be privileged by birth. These ideas were put forward by philosophers such as Locke, the English philosopher and Rousseau, French philosopher. The American Constitution and its guarantee of individual rights was an important example of political theories of France. These ideas were discussed intensively in saloons, coffee houses and spread among people through books and newspapers. These were even read aloud. Children, you must be wondering that why, in the saloons and the coffee houses, these books and the newspapers were read aloud. Now these were read aloud because they could benefit to those who could not read and write. The news that Louis XVI planned to impose further taxes to be able to meet the expenses of the state generated anger and protest against the system of privileges. Children, I hope till here it is all clear and understood. Now coming on to the next part of the chapter, that is the outbreak of the revolution. Now children, in this outbreak of the revolution, we will be reading that what all were the reasons that people rose in revolt against the the French rulers. Now coming to the outbreak of the revolution. Children, this is the second flowchart which tells you that how the revolution happened. Now what were the causes for the outbreak of the revolution? First was meeting of Estate General. The Estate General was a political body to which estates sent their representatives, and Louis XVI called meeting to increase taxes and pass proposals. The second was representation of the National Assembly. The first and the second estates sent 300 representatives each. The third estate, 600 members were there. From the third estate, there were 600 members. The peasants, the artisans and women were denied entry to the assembly, which was yet another cause for the outbreak of the revolution. Now, demand of universal adult franchise. Children, as you all know, universal adult franchise was for the voting rights. Now, each estate had one vote. The third estate demanded vote of each individual. Now, why they demanded this? It was because the third estate comprised of the maximum of the French population. But the proposal which was given by the members of the third estate was rejected by the King Louis XVI. After the proposal was rejected, all the representatives of the third estate, they met the meeting of the National Assembly. They all met for making the National Assembly. The representatives of the third